This is Venger Satanis of the Cult of Cthulhu, and I only have one major objective in this video, and that is telling you about the link down there below. So read that, and tell me what you think. But in the meantime, since I'm already here, just want to say a few things. There's a lot of videos that have been created and a lot of talk and this and that about satanic unity, when really what we're trying to talk about is left-hand path unification, which is a slow, carefully measured, balanced process of defining who we are, what we're about, and how we're going to achieve our goals. So that's a little bit different than, bringing Satanists together. As much as I love the satanic aesthetic and the philosophy and the religion, and I grew up with that, Anton LaVey was probably one of my biggest idols back then, and, I have a deep respect for Michael Aquino too, and Jason King, and Satanic Zach, Dark Fool, Ego Diabolus, Beast Zeno, a bunch of other Satanists from different forums and Facebook and places and whatever. Okay, having said all that, I don't, in the long term, all things considered, give a rat's ass about Satanism unless it somehow applies to the left-hand path. Because Satanism is just one small branch or tendril of this great movement and community that we have, the left-hand path. So, again, down there is the link. Please read the stuff that you find on the page where the link shows you. Okay, one more thing, maybe a couple more things. Republicans, Democrats, Christians, Libertarians, Muslims, Jews, Asians, Caucasians, students attending the University of Wisconsin. All of these categories are individuals, and they're also part of a group at the same time. I know it's sometimes it's a little. I'm trying not to get sarcastic or be a dick here, but because I know that sometimes it is difficult to rationalize or conceptualize that you got one thing over here, and then you got another thing over here. Like you have apples and oranges. Yes, they're different, they're separate, they're individual, but they're also part of the fruit kingdom, if you will. And you've got to take them as individuals and collectively as fruit. That's just the way human minds work, the way we categorize things, the way power structures and hierarchy and politics and social constructs. That's just the way shit goes. So basically, I want individuals to stay individuals. Once you become part of a whole, part of a larger group, something larger than yourself, it doesn't mean that whoever you are, your essence, your individuality, your own personal way or aesthetic, that doesn't mean that gets thrown away. You still are who you are. Just because someone becomes a Republican doesn't mean all their identity is suddenly swept away into Republicanism. That's not how the world works. In a lot of ways, Satanism still clings to this adolescent notion that, it's only about destruction and anarchy and skulls and wearing black and listening to heavy metal really loud and not doing what your parents want you to do and, be an individual man. Of course you gotta be an individual. That's part of what the left-hand path is all about, but it's larger than that, much larger. And Satanism has to fit into the left-hand path, otherwise it's just hanging out on its own, sometimes manifesting, sometimes being an asshole, whatever. If it's not part of what we're doing, then fuck it. And I'd say the same thing about the Cthulhu cult. If that's not a part of the left-hand path, if that's not working with other similar groups and similar people to try to achieve something noble and great, then fuck it. Fuck the Cthulhu cult. Because, otherwise it's just taking up space. Otherwise it's just people getting together and coming up with ranks and degrees and, cool names for shit, and playing around with Lovecraftian stuff, and it doesn't mean a good goddamn. It doesn't mean a hill of beans. It's not worth the eldritch paper it was written on. So, yeah, basically what I'm saying is it's all part of the left-hand path. All these different little branches and tendrils and tentacles and groups and orders and sects, and, you know, it's all part of a greater whole, a greater purpose, because we have a destiny. What else? Okay, well, a little bit about the video. Again, link down there. Okay, anyways, this video is about a study which the Cult of Cthulhu has been, we've just completed, and, well, just read it. We'll tell you all about it. But, check that out, because now we're trying to get at the root, the foundation of 21st century left-hand path, ism, or the left-hand path. Lords of the Left-Hand Path, if you read that, that is a great resource, and I would immediately go to that, you know, if you have a deep interest in the left-hand path and what that's all about, our rich history and culture, and where things come from, by Stephen Flowers. But that's 20th century stuff. I mean, that takes the whole history, I guess, from the beginnings of the left-hand path to the late 20th century. But now we have a chance to define 21st century left-hand path. So I hope you'll come and have a conversation with us, and we can look at this together and find out if what our study shows is worthwhile, or, you know, if what we've discovered is full of shit. And if it is, then you should call us on it. And, you know, but don't just criticize, come up with your own ideas. If this could be, you know, a new standard, a new gold standard for the left-hand path, goals and the means of achieving those goals, then great. Let's get on board. Let's stop fucking around and get to the heart of the matter, and get results, and manifest, and create, and do this. You know, be active, be proactive. That's it. That's all I gotta say. And hopefully I'll see you on the Cult of Cthulhu forum. That would be nice. Alright, yeah, Cthulhu Fatagan. And hail Satan, bitches!